Hello, crypto people. Joey here from the Chart Guys. I've been trading full time for 7 years, learning at the Chart Guys for 6 of them, joined as a member in 2018, and now I'm here to talk about some crypto. So, the big update here today is that our weekly higher low is set on Bitcoin. As everybody tuning in knows, we've got some nice bullish action out there today, 5.4% up on the day, and as has been the case for months now at this point, the weekly 12 EMA will remain our top guide for bull control on Bitcoin. So we have a new line in the sand here at 60,775, but I'm going to put a little asterisk on that because, again, I care more about the weekly 12 EMA than I do about this support specifically. So there is the potential for a scenario where, say, we come back down, we lose that support, but we hold the weekly 12 EMA and keep the show on the road. So certainly watching that support, and that is our new price action level line in the sand. Again, that is, we'll just call it 60.8K there. And now the big question is, are we going to confirm this to new all-time highs, getting up through, let's see, 73,777 on Binance to get to new all-time highs and keep the show on the road? Or are we going to tighten up here? So I'm liking the 3-day time frame when evaluating that. So key resistance just going to be 74K. I know all-time highs a little bit before that, but with the clear psych level just above that, I care mostly about 74K at this point. So as for what we're watching in the short term, or we won't get to that yet. Let's go back to how we got here. So looking at, well, we'll go to the 12-hour because that's what we were watching. We were watching for this 12-hour inverse head and shoulders retracement, much deeper than bulls wanted to see here, and decrease the odds of a weekly lower or weekly higher low shaping up from here. But as we're always saying, if you're going to see the less likely scenario, which is just going up to these new highs, what are you going to need? Increasing volume. So you can see it on the 12-hour here, but it's best depicted on the daily. We've got this steady increasing bull volume. That's what it takes to get through resistance if you're coming from beyond a 50% retrace there. So another kind of nuanced bit of this, these are dinky pivots, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard me say, oh, that's a dinky pivot, I'm not going to count that or whatever. But in this case, I am counting this as a daily uptrend, and the main reason why is because we got our weekly higher low set. We broke above the high of the previous week. So that's like what trumps things when we're talking about is a higher low set, is a higher low not set. We know we want to see two things. The high of the larger time frame previous candle break, which in this case was, we'll just call it 69K. And then the other thing that you want to see is your smaller nested time frame, get its trend change. If we're talking about the weekly, the smaller nested time frame is the daily. So dinky pivots or not, if we've got some type of pivot and we've broken the high of the previous candle, then I will pretty much always designate that as a trend change despite the pivot only being 0.21%. So we've got a daily uptrend to be watching now. Lots of room for a daily higher low compared to 62,260. And that's that. Now let's drill in a little bit closer. So this daily move, we've got a 4-hour uptrend for. And despite going sideways here, our last 4-hour higher low isn't down until 64.6K. The reason why this is not a higher low here on the 4-hour time frame is because it's still just a 4-hour stair step. You've got to break the low of the previous candle to actually get consolidation underway. So going to be watching the 4-hour 12 EMA as the guide for health on this daily move. If we're going to see some daily consolidation, if we're going to tighten up within this range, step one of that would be breaking the 4-hour 12 EMA. Obviously very far away at this point, and bulls with a ton of room for a 4-hour higher low. So continuing to drill in closer, hourly is probably my preferred time frame as far as the smaller time frames go because we have nice hourly 12 EMA support. We had a potential head and shoulders here this morning, and bulls fended it off. Left shoulder, head, little right shoulder, and bears could not break support. Bulls took it back through resistance and have just been running with it since then. So hourly stair step guide, when that breaks, we'll look to see if bulls can form another hourly higher low off the 12 EMA to keep the show going on. And wouldn't be surprised to see that consolidation sooner than later as our hourly RSI gets above 80 here. So let's see what we've got for a smaller time frame, just like in the 15-minute uptrend. So anything over 70.3K, we'll call it, going to be a 15-minute higher low. And that is that. We lose 15-minute 12 EMA, lose the 15-minute uptrend, then we'll be looking for some hourly consolidation. We'll see if 5-minute oversold marks the hourly higher low. If it does, then the show goes on. If it doesn't, then maybe we got some 4-hour consolidation shaping up. Look for 15-minute oversold and 4-hour 12 EMA perhaps. And that's what we're looking at here on Bitcoin as bulls just control the morning pretty much from the stock market open here. So this is another thing. Dan and I were talking a little bit over the weekend about implications and ripple effects of the ETFs. And one of the things that we were speaking about was the potential that the 9:30 to 4 trading session can gain more importance on Bitcoin because we have all of this ETF volume that's only coming in during that period. So this is certainly a point in favor for that phenomenon, if you want to call it that, coming into play here. So yeah, something to keep on the back of the mind. We know that some other implications or ripple effects is less of a need for the miners as a proxy for stock traders. In the chart guides, we were all trading the miners because, we could put our stock accounts at that and use more size and all of that stuff. But now at the ETF, the miners kind of getting tossed out because, one, they're relatively weak, which I think is related partially due to this, the ETFs. And two, it's just, I don't know, you don't have to worry about so much. If you're trading Mara, you got to be watching the NASDAQ, you got to be watching Bitcoin, working all these correlations. Whereas if you're just trading IBIT, you can just do that. So that's what we've got going on here on Bitcoin. Let's move on through the list. Hold on just a second. I actually got to set an alert on something here. I'm in a CGC trade. I'm just down to a runner. Seeing if bulls can get an hourly bounce underway into the end of the day. Get these crappy lines off here. But yeah, if we get this 15-minute uptrend, I'll probably be looking to take more profits in the 670s or something like that. But back to crypto. So ETH is doing something similar here. Get rid of these lines. We've got our daily uptrend and our weekly higher low is set. And this is nice for ETH because we knew it didn't have as much room as Bitcoin. After the pullback last week, we're bottoming at the weekly 12 EMA, which is our guide here. And essentially Bitcoin was still a good bit above it. So we had a situation where if Bitcoin were going to go to the weekly 12 EMA, ETH was probably going to lose it, but it's held it. It has broken the high of the previous week, only marginally at this point, 20 bucks. But we've got our daily uptrend as our guide. Anything over 32.50 going to be a daily higher low, next consolidation. And let's drill on in further. A 4-hour uptrend as the guide for the daily move. Anything over 34.29 going to be a 4-hour higher low, next consolidation. And we've got an hourly stair step as well, same as Bitcoin here. And just a little bit weaker though. You can see Bitcoin pushing up to higher highs on this move while ETH is going sideways on the 15-minute. You look at that comparison, that's the relative weakness there. And the reason for the relative weakness is ETH BTC still struggling to set a daily higher low. So we know that ETH is going to remain relatively weak if bulls cannot get over 53.50 and confirm a daily uptrend. We know bigger picture, we're kind of balancing sideways here just above key support. So bulls want to get on offense, but there's no sign of it yet. And ETH bulls do not want to see what happened to Matic BTC. So Matic BTC, very similar look here. We were balancing above key support for a good while. Bulls battled, and then bears are coming out on top. And that is leading to sustained relative weakness in Matic. And ETH, very similar setup. So bulls want to do different than the Matic USD bulls. So just watching this daily stair step down, let's see, 4-hour 12 EMA guide. So for ETH to come back on the menu in the intermediate term. Got to get over 4-hour 12 EMA, got to break the daily stair step, and then we'll still be looking to daily 12 EMA resistance, because at this point we've pulled back down more than half of the move up, so it's going to be more difficult for bulls to get a daily trend change here on ETH BTC. So let's see, looking at Litecoin, we got our inverse head and shoulders here. I guess we can still view this one on the 12-hour. Inverse head and shoulders confirmed. Got a daily uptrend as well. Anything over 80.57 going to be a daily higher low, and our weekly higher low is set off of the 12 EMA. So I wouldn't be shocked to see a weekly lower high compared to 105.71 just due to the sheer percentage pullback there, and the daily uptrend will be our guide for that. And we had LTC relatively strong in here, but now it's relatively weak on this move up. And typically when you have something like that, the ratio chart tells the story. So we go to LTC, BTC, this daily tightening range we've been watching, daily lower high got set here today. And the direction this breaks is going to be pivotal for LTC. If we go out to the weekly, it shows it a bit better in terms of the implications. If that daily range breaks bull, we'll be getting over weekly 12 EMA for the first time in a long time and seeing some relative strength in the first notable sense in months and months at this point. If it breaks bear, the bear show goes on LTC as the ratio chart is in black dirt breakdown, meaning all-time lows. So we have relative weakness now, but our bull's going to hold support again, turn it to relative strength. Time will tell. So on the note of ratio charts, tight ratio charts, let's look at XRP BTC, because that's another one very similar here. Tightening up, and if we zoom out, this is the daily time frame, but if we zoom out to the weekly, very similar in the sense that it is relatively weak. We're not in black dirt breakdown, but bears have been in control on this ratio chart really since the July, I think that was their legal win or whatever. You know, you get your pump up, XRP is not a security or whatever it was, and it's just been all bear since then. So watching this ratio chart closely, because if it breaks bull, XRP will be back on the menu, and it's nice when you have a clear pattern on the USD pairing to couple with a clear pattern on your BTC pairing. So if we look at XRP USD, we've got a nice 2-week equilibrium. Let me get rid of that. So high, low, lower high, higher low, and bears defending the highs here. We got resistance at 75 clean, and the top of this bounce was 74.40. So when this tightening range breaks, we can anticipate big time volatility coming into XRP. So what bulls want to see is have that ratio chart break the daily tightening range to the upside, get over weekly 12 EMA, while the USD pairing clears 75 and goes up to challenge 93.80. So that's definitely on watch. Got a similar kind of inverse head and shoulders here, bumping up on resistance, maybe 12-hour. Yeah, I guess 12-hour or daily, however you want to look at it. The main thing is we've got 65.46 resistance and 66.86. Bulls need to get up and over that to fend off a 2-week lower high being set. If we fall back down through the current lows, that'll keep us tightening up here. And I mean, we could tighten up here well into the summer. It's a solid range. So these are things that you don't necessarily have to like jump on right now, but you got to prime your mind for it, set some alerts for it. And you don't even need to make preemptive plays on it saying, okay, I think that XRP BTC is going to break this bull and XRP is going to be back on the menu. You don't have to do any of that. Just set your alerts and then say, okay, if this happens, then I know that this is going to be my focus. And then you grab an hourly higher low, 4-hour higher low, whatever time frame you're interested in playing on. All right, so that's that. What else we got here? Sol, staying healthy at the highs. Little daily tightening range here, testing daily resistance, 195.68. And as long as daily 12 EMA is support on Sol USD, then no weekly consolidation shaping up. Next time we see weekly consolidation, tons of room for a weekly higher low, and 12 EMA is going to be our guide there. And bulls like to see the ratio chart holding on above its daily 12 EMA as well, but we can see we have relative weakness here today. So it would be a short-term red flag for Sol USD if Sol BTC enters weekly consolidation. We'll certainly be looking for a weekly higher low. And when I say short-term red flag for Sol USDT. Note that that's not like an inherent red flag for Sol itself. As I just said, it's more of a relative strength red flag where it tells you that there's other places that are better to have your money right now than Sol. Because obviously looking at Sol USD, it's totally fine. There's nothing that is red flaggish about this right now. But a lot of, if you're actively trading the space, you want to optimize your operations. So certainly more of an advanced technique to be rotating between these alts. But, if you're multiple years into this, multiple cycles into this, then that's what you want to be doing to really maximize your potential here. And some good examples of this, we talked about this a bit last stream, but these ratio charts that are looking for monthly higher lows. So we had Sol BTC was one of them. We'll go to the monthly chart for this. Was looking for its monthly higher low. We were watching for rotation into Sol. We got it, and that was a very nice move there. We had Rune BTC did the same thing. When it gets this monthly bounce underway, that's when it's coming into rotation, and we can target it as a potential candidate for rotation because of the BTC parent. So, and then now we've got ICP BTC trying to do the same thing. We're looking for this monthly higher low, and we've seen very nice rotation into ICP over the last week or so. So these are ones that are in the process of getting it done. I'm still watching INJ for the same thing. There's no signs of it yet. We had minor signs of it, and bulls weren't able to follow through, and it continues to be relatively weak for 3 months now at this point. But if INJ BTC sets a monthly higher low, we will see INJ USD come back onto the map. So this was where bulls tried. We had multiple tops up here. Bears took back over, right back down to new lows. And you can see it's not wildly different from Sol BTC back here. Big move up, clear multiple tops. And then once we got through that resistance, that's what told us that Sol was on the menu. So keep an eyes on INJ BTC, not making any preemptive entries based off of it, but just knowing that if we see this ratio chart come to life, then INJ will be back on the menu. And if we look into ICP BTC, it was, you get your lower low without follow through. I was actually looking for an inverse head and shoulders here, but we broke right through resistance. But when you get this move off the low, if we look at ICP USDT, you can see what that is for the USD parent. We'll just go to the daily for it at this point. Beastie move off the low, 67%. So to talk about this while we're here, 4-hour 12 EMA guide. That's going to be the guide for the daily, along with the daily stair step. That would need to be lost to see daily consolidation, and then lots of room for a daily higher low. So do got to be a bit mindful of like a megaphone, I suppose. Let's see here. Higher highs, no follow through. Lower lows, no follow through. So bulls certainly don't want to see that play out, but always good to identify the megaphones and be cognizant of them so that we don't get bamboozled if we do not follow our traditional trend metrics. So what else we got here that we're eyeing? FET. So FET is trying to set a weekly higher low as well. Certainly a weekly bull flag at this point. As long as bulls hold the 12 EMA, it'll be healthy. But we've got this little kind of inverse head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder now formed. If bulls can get through 285 and 302, then we're basically up to all-time highs at 312. So it's been relatively weak here, marginally. And let's actually look at FET BTC and put some numbers on it. Yeah, I wouldn't even say necessarily it's been relatively weak. It's just kind of been doing similar to Bitcoin there. In the sense of not getting through our daily resistance, you could say it's relatively weak. But this leads into the next big thing. Are we going to see rotation into the alts if Bitcoin is to tighten up at the highs here? So Bitcoin, if it were to tighten up like this, what alt bulls want to see is our Bitcoin dominance daily tightening range break bear. So we've been tightening up here for most of March, second week of March onwards, just been tightening on up. We know it's been the Bitcoin show the past 2 days, but what alt bulls want to see is this come down, showing us that alts are stronger than Bitcoin and not have it be meaning that alts are dropping less than Bitcoin. They want Bitcoin to go sideways and want alts to catch that next wave and get the leg up. And this is often what we see in bull markets is Bitcoin will make a big move, then it goes sideways. And while it goes sideways, that's funds rotating into the alts. So while it is the Bitcoin show today, you certainly want to be scouting your alts that you're interested in. And again, blue sky bulls are definitely alts of interest. So let's see, let's look at AIOZ. It continues to just be a beautiful daily 12 EMA rider. And this thing is so volatile. You know, it doesn't look like much on the daily, but clean tested daily 12 EMA, 40% move. Another tested daily 12 EMA, 34% move. Another move off of it, 45. So you can be churning these things. And AIOZ just has nice clarity. And y'all have heard me say before, I care so much more about clarity than I do about anything else. Fundamentals, how cool the name sounds, you know, whatever. Like, I care about clarity and I care about proximity to blue skies in this kind of environment. And those are the top two things. So I don't care if I'm trading poop USDT. If it's a clear EMA rider, what more can you ask for? What more can you ask for as an active trader? All right, I guess we'll look at Pendle, another one that could have a potential megaphone. We know we were watching this kind of tightening range and bulls V-shaped it to new highs. If we look at the daily, if you're going to see your less likely scenario play out, because last stream I was saying a 3-day lower high compared to this 367 is the most likely scenario. If you're going to see the less likely scenario play out, going to be on increasing volume. So daily stair step here, 4-hour 12 EMA, another very clear guide here. So Pendle definitely in rotation here today, but the reason I bring it up is we do kind of have to be mindful of the potential of some sort of megaphone here as well. Definitely got that type of action, so keep that in mind. If bulls don't want a megaphone to play out, they want to hold daily 12 EMA. You know, back here, this is very similar. You know, if we look at just this in a bubble, lower high is the most likely scenario. You V-shape to new highs. Not quite increasing volume, but increased volume, you could say. And this is quite similar. And where did bulls fail here? When they dropped below daily 12 EMA. That's when we said, okay, you know, this is not what bulls want to see after a new all-time high. So we'll see if bulls can hold daily 12 EMA on the next consolidation. Let's see, we got someone double sending SPY dumping. Let's see, is SPY dumping? SPY is not dumping, my friend. SPY is not dumping. Very, very chill up at all-time highs for now. On that note, though, I am being mindful that SPX is at historic levels for weekly stair steps at this point. So we've got 11 weeks in a row. Talked about this last stream, but just going to give the same spiel because if we're to see weekly consolidation in the S&P 500, I'd imagine that it'll weigh Bitcoin down. So we've got 11 stair steps now. We're on to our 12th this week. And that is a historical extreme. We had a tenor in 2016. We had another tenor in 2010, had an 11 in 2010, had a 12 in 98, had a 12 in 87, and then you got to go all the way back to the 60s. 62 into 63, we had a 14 in there somewhere. So we're at historical extremes. We know the burden of proof is on bears, but we know it will not be surprising the next time we see weekly consolidation. So just being mindful of that in regards to what's going on with Bitcoin. Obviously, Bitcoin is A-okay. It's already got weekly consolidation underway, but a lot of times when you see those historic stair steps break, it tends to be hard and fast to the downside. That being said, we didn't see that on this last SPX one because this was a pretty intense stair step as well. Consolidation, healthy, higher low, and after confirming new highs, up another 10% from there. So just make sure you got a plan if that happens, and make sure you evaluate, like, okay, is this affecting BTC? We know it wouldn't be shocking to see it affect BTC, but it doesn't have to. The charts can do whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. And let's see. So that was the first week of January on ES. And yeah, I guess Bitcoin Let's go look on the daily, actually. So yeah, Bitcoin fended it off well. So it did on that day, the beginning of that, we had a solid move down, but then another leg up before we actually saw it move down. So if we look at ES, that was here. Yeah, so certainly not directly correlated, but something to keep an eye on regardless, because we know we've seen that relationship play out before. All right, let's see. I think that might be all I've got to talk about. Hop into chat, see what y'all are looking at. Or actually, let's talk about Doge. It's got some nice relative strength here. Doge, weekly higher low set off the 12 EMA. You know, trading can be so complicated. There's so many different things out there, but we can make it simple. That's why I love the EMAs. So I love the EMAs. You know, it definitely takes some touch to develop, like when are you looking at which EMA, and you know, how do we know if we're riding it and this and that. But if you just play around with them and see how things play out, you will see time and time and time again, especially in this type of market environment, that these EMAs are gangbusters. So new line in the sand for Doge is 12.25.3, the low of that last candle. And I'm just viewing this as one move up on the daily. Don't typically designate pivots on outside bars. If you want to zoom to the 12-hour, you can do that. Nice 12-hour uptrend. But looking to see, can Doge maintain this relative strength? Let's look at Doge BTC. So it is seeing some resistance here up at the, what is this, 27 ones. So if this comes down, we'll have relative weakness in Doge, but lots of room for a daily higher low here, and the strongest of our meme coins at this point. So let's just go through all of these. So we'll see if this happens one by one, because let's go to SHIB first. So SHIB, looking for a weekly higher low. Weekly consolidation certainly minimal. You know, we broke it by, what is that, 14 units, whatever those units are, but weekly higher low set. And after we saw Doge make its pop, it was like, all right, eyes on SHIB now, trying for a daily uptrend. It's gotten not a ton of follow through at this point, you know, 7%, which is a decent percentage, but structurally not a ton of follow through at this point. So SHIB, first one to follow Doge. Is Pepe going to be the next? Similarly, trying for a daily uptrend, got resistance here at 860 and trying to set a healthy weekly higher low just below all-time highs. So meme coins staying strong. AI coins staying strong for the most part. I mean, lots of green on the watch list. Most of these red charts down here are just ratios. Just ratios. Yeah, I think that's legit all that I've got on the list to talk about today. I guess we'll look at Bonk. So Bonk got that daily trend change, looking for a weekly higher low as well, bouncing off the 12 EMA. So it got the daily trend change, but the weekly higher low is not set yet. High of last week is 28.1168. Daily uptrend going to be the guide for full bull control on this bounce here. All right, let's see what y'all are looking at. Let's see what y'all are looking at. What up, Ed Laughs? We love you tuning in. Happy to have you here. Jahan Zeeb, what's up, brother? I am doing well. Hope the same for you. Let's see. Can you please share a trade? Why I took it? Yeah, let's talk about that CGC trade. So CGC this morning, I was actually a bit bummed because I was planning to short this morning on a gap up. Didn't get the gap up, so I held off on shorting, even though it ended up being a beautiful top fish, and then wanted to short this 15-minute lower high. No shares available when I went to send it through. So with no short available, then I was looking for the long. So when I'm looking for a long, I'm looking primarily for EMA riders. I know it seems like I'm a one-trick pony, but when you are in a trending move with a clear EMA rider, it's so often going to be the place to be looking for an entry. So let's see, I'll just pull over the chart guys chat room here. Let's see, where's this thread? Give me a moment here. I just do this so people don't think I'm full of crap. So people don't think I'm full of crap, because a lot of people just talk out here. So this was at, what time is this? This is at 9:42 this morning. 6 flush into 4-hour 12 EMA would be nice if bears keep short-term control. So what the chart was looking at like at the time, that's 645 is the price there. And the main point about this, of me showing the initial scout, is that, you know, you've got to find a setup where you've got multiple degrees of confluence. You know, if we just went down to 6 flush there, we'd be oversold on multiple time frames, we'd be testing the 4-hour 12 EMA, and we'd be breaking a key psychological level, because a lot of times when you see flushes down, it'll be a key psych level break, or you see pumps up, it'll be a key psych level break that ends up marking the top. So that scout was at 942, and then when it comes time to buy the dip, you know, this is 108. You know, that's multiple hours later that I didn't trade any CGC, just sitting watching. I mean, I tried for the 15-minute lower high, but you know, that's 108. So we're right here, you know, saying I'm still looking for the 6 flush. We get the 6 flush. I got one entry at 598. I had a second entry that didn't get filled, or second order that didn't get filled at 588, just planning to scale a couple in. Then I took half off at 611 to get a risk-free stop below the low of day. Then I took some more off at the 5-minute 12 EMA at 633. And then the plan was I'm taking more off at the 15-minute 12 EMA if we get there. Well, I had an order in at 652, missed by a penny. And then this is an important concept in trading, and something that, you know, I still certainly need to work on because I falter with it a lot of times, but I'm getting better. Once I missed that bid, and then we saw this pull back, and I'll bring this back over here just to show you where my mind was at this time. You know, potential 2-minute rising wedge while we're looking for the 15-minute lower high. This is what we're looking at here. I was looking to get out most of the position on that little pop-up. Didn't get filled, and then instead of being a dick for a tick, I modified here. Said, you know, my 15-minute 12 EMA order missed by a penny, so I'm taking it off on this 2-minute lower high as we're looking for that 15-minute lower high. So I got out most of my position at 645 there. I've still got a baby runner to see if bulls can do anything, but I mean, it's down to like 10% of my initial position. But that's kind of how I go about these things, and we can see, you know, that 2-minute rising wedge ended up breaking bear, and instead of fretting about missing it by a penny up here, I ended up taking it 7 pennies lower than I wanted, because, you know, I'd rather get that than, you know, be stingy about it and let that draw back down. So yeah, to go through the order entries, or show the order entries to prove to people I'm not just here lying and faking. 598 entry, 611 exit for half. Then we had this, the 533 or 633 for another chunk. And yeah, that's that. That's a trade from today. And we'll see, you know, I'm not swinging anything. Just giving bulls a chance to get an hourly bounce underway into the end of the day. Doesn't look like that's happening. Needed the 15-minute uptrend, but 15-minute downtrend continues. So I'll just close that out at close. Looks like we've got 26 minutes left. You know, maybe bull surprise, but looking unlikely. I actually got to double check that my stop is in the right place. It is. And you know, at this point, I really don't care what happens. I got 10% left. If bulls bounced up into the 670s, 680s, that'd be a nice little icing on the cake. But at this point, you know, the move off the low is already 10%. So when you're trading something super volatile like this, you know, it can seem nice to try to hang on for a 25% banger, but you know, if you size into a 10% move, obviously plenty to get there. All right, Proche, what up? What up? RD, hello. Revy, good to see you, dude. Let's see, the Builder, good to catch a live show. I've been watching the chart guys for a few years now. Great analysis. Happy to have you in for the live, man. Yeah, usually I do them a bit earlier, but I was doing some other stuff, probably the CGC, so we got a 3 p.m. stream today. Typically don't want to bump with our TCG only streams, which we've got one going on at 3:15 today. So I usually don't like to overlap with that, but what can you do sometimes? All right, let's see. Polar Bear Man sold it all again. I'm a no coiner again. Looking for some market manipulation to happen to jump back in. Take the lower low and take the highest high. Was in at 62.7, sold early. Yeah, man, that happens. You know, I suppose it depends what is your intention of the trade. You know, if you are trying to get a swing position off the ground, then, you know, it's a bummer that you sold early because, you know, if this is a weekly bull flag, then the show goes on. But if you're just actively trading, you're never going to consistently nail bottoms and tops. Always going to get in early, sell early. So don't hold that on yourself. But bulls, it does bring up a good point here. You know, oh, all right. So we got the weekly higher low pretty quick. The consolidation before the breakout was unhealthy on the 12-hour. You know, we had increasing volume. Come on, volume. We had some, you know, not crazy increasing volume, but some increasing volume. Gave back almost the whole bounce up. You know, felt fearful. Didn't feel like a weekly higher low shaping up. So I think a lot of people are in that position. So what are we looking for? It depends how aggressive you want to be. If you want to be most aggressive, you're looking for an hourly higher low off the 12 EMA. If you want to be more patient, you're waiting for a 4-hour higher low off the 4-hour 12 EMA. If you want to be more patient, you're probably doing 12-hour higher low. See if bulls can turn this 12-hour 12 EMA into support. And the most patient, probably waiting for a daily higher low, playing off of 62 to 60. So no one can answer, you know, what's right for you in terms of aggression. That's an differing from individual to individual. And the thing is you can try at the aggressive spots, and if it sticks, then you're good to go. If it doesn't, you stop out and then try the next tier down. It's not like you need to commit right now that, all right, I'm going to be, you know, 3rd tier conservative or 2nd tier aggressive, you know, whatever. I'm just making tiers up here. But you can say, all right, you know, maybe I'll take a crack at hourly 12 EMA, see if the show can go on. You mark your line on the hourly 12 EMA. You maybe look for a 5-minute oversold, see where that would be. It's a good bit above that at this point. But, you know, maybe you say, all right, if we get down in this range and I get a nice 5-minute stair step, let's see, just envision some candles coming down. You get a nice 5-minute stair step. You take the entry there. Get your long position toolbox out. You know, you're entering there, your stops there. You shoot for your 1-to-1. Something like that. You're risk-free, and you have a stop below the low. If the aggressive traders end up being right and benefiting, then you've got a position. If they're not, and we see 4-hour consolidation, you stop out. So that's what I'd be looking for entries. But honestly, I'd probably be looking for alts. You know, looking to see, can Bitcoin dominance break bear out of this, and we see some rotation just because of the history of Bitcoin seeing a big leg up and then tightening up for some time while alts get the party. So I'd be looking at alt ratio charts to see who's the flavor of the day, who's got larger time frame confluence to show us that rotation could be coming in here. And then I'd focus on those. Because like if you feel FOMO about missing out on BTC, this move, like from the lows to the highs here, 16%. That's big. It's big for sure. But I mean, some of these alts, let's just look at AIOZ. Look at the hourly. So this move from the hourly double bottoms, 10%. And that's in an hour. So I don't know. Alts have a lot of opportunity if you're familiar with trading them. But I understand from a swing perspective the reasons for wanting to be in old Bitsy. All right, let's see. APTOS for Robert. Aptos. So APT USDT. Yeah, you know, I really don't know many of the actual names of the coins. I just know them by their tickers. But looking at APT, got to be mindful of monthly resistance coming into play here. That is $20.40. Would not be shocking to see us continue to tighten up on the monthly. If Bitcoin remains strong, if alt rotation remains strong, then, you know, I wouldn't be shocked to, I guess what I'm saying is I wouldn't say that a monthly lower high compared to 2040 is the most likely scenario. We've got increasing bull volume. We're very close to it at this point. So I wouldn't say it's the most likely scenario, But I would say, we're coming up into resistance, so we got to be mindful of that. So bulls are just riding the daily 12 EMA. It's another daily 12 EMA rider. If you're looking to get in, you're playing off the EMA. If we lose that EMA, then we've got some weekly consolidation shaping up, and then we do the same thing with the weekly 12 EMA. So definitely a bit extended up here, but burden of proof is on bears. Burden of proof is on bears. Last daily high or low is 1353, and just kind of going sideways up here. Let's look at APT BTC, see if we have any clues. So APT BTC is trying to get the show on the road. So this is actually APT USD bulls love to see this, because the USD pairing is doing fine without the BTC ratio. But if this gets a real bounce underway, gets over monthly 12 EMA, then that's when we see APT USD get through 2040 and go back up to that listing wick, or go back up to challenge the listing wick high. So let's get a little more structure on this. I don't know how I want to look at this. Maybe like 2-week tightening range. Just call that a double top, and ultimately got to get through 26,485 on the ratio chart if this thing is gonna, if the USD pairing is gonna get going. But as for now, just slinking on upwards. And again, doesn't look too glorious, but 40% move in a few weeks, not too shabby. Not too shabby. Let's see. Step 2 wants to get the watch list. I'll post it in the room after this. Step 2 is the mod of all mods, a Chart Guys legend. Chart Guys legend crushed the crypto space, and then had life-changing money, and then changed his life. Started a business somewhere beautiful, and is living the dream. All right, Sui USDT. Let's take a look. Is this cup and handle gonna do it or what? So Sui, looking at this big old cup and handle, currently have a double top at 197.40, 194.86, and bulls trying to crack through those resistances and get through too psychological to be clear cut into blue skies. So kind of funky here. What do we got? We had that little daily or 4-hour megaphone here. Got follow through, and now we got a daily high or low set. I don't know what I want for structure on this. Give me a moment. I think we will just stick with daily and weekly and kind of look past all of that stuff, because now we have a daily high or low set. And we can say that as long as 161.86 is holding, then bulls are in control as far as trying to crack this weekly cup and handle to the upside. That being said, wouldn't be shocked to see a daily lower high compared to 194, just due to the depth of this pullback, losing the daily 12 EMA a little bit. So we have a 4-hour uptrend as our guide for this daily move. 4-hour uptrend's lost, daily lower high set. Bulls want to bounce over the halfway point of this pullback to decrease the odds that bears can confirm a daily downtrend and try to get a weekly lower high set up here. So still just kind of slinking around here. Let's see if Sui BTC has any clues. Sui Bitcoin. Is this another? So this is another monthly high or low ratio. So what Sui USDT bulls want to see is Sui BTC set a monthly high or low. We only just got monthly consolidation underway, and the big question from here will be, can ratio bulls regain a weekly uptrend to get a monthly high or low set, or do ratio bears confirm a weekly downtrend to see deeper monthly consolidation? We lost the weekly high or low support back here, and that's the loss of the uptrend. It's not a downtrend. Loss of an uptrend does not equal a downtrend. Loss of an uptrend is loss of an uptrend. Then you need the lower high and lower low to confirm the downtrend. So going to be about the ratio coming along, most likely. All right, looked at Sol Druvisky. I think I botched your name, but did we look at the deets on Sol? I think so. Yeah, just this little daily range here. Daily range, daily 12 EMA rider, and this was a 12-hour range that broke bull. Got nice and tight, high, low, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low, bull break, and then you zoom out to the next time frame. See if bulls can keep this daily uptrend intact, and that is that. Yeah, definitely talked about Sol more in depth in the beginning if you scroll back. Let's see, Vino, still fretting about SPY. Don't fret about SPY, man. As long as SPY's in a daily uptrend, there's nothing to fret about here. We have not had a daily downtrend on SPY since the October lows. It's just we lost the uptrend here, and this is what I'm talking about losing the uptrend does not equal confirming the downtrend. This was our last round of weekly consolidation on SPY. Here was our daily higher low. We lost it, but if bears were going to see follow through, they need the downtrend. They didn't get the downtrend. Bulls bounced more than 50% of the pullback, regained the uptrend, and it's just been a steady uptrend since. So if we lose the daily uptrend, there will be reason for caution in SPY. If we confirm a daily downtrend, there will be reason for caution in SPY. But I'd say you got to zoom out. If this is a dump in your mind, you got to zoom out a little bit, brother. All right, let's see. Tomato. Can 2 timeframes simultaneously ride the 12 EMA? If yes, in that case, which timeframe would you choose as a guide? It's all relative. So the answer to your question is yes, absolutely. You'll often see EMA riders on many timeframes, especially in this market environment. That's the whole zoom out game that we talk about. You know, if you're riding the 5-minute 12 EMA, you zoom out. See if you're riding the 15-minute 12 EMA, you lose that, zoom out. 4-hour, hourly, daily, weekly. Let's see, who's a good one? I think FET is, or is it FET? Let me see here. No, it's not FET. Who was, is it just AIOZ? I know we're riding daily 12 EMA on AIOZ, but does it also have the weekly 12 EMA rider? Yeah. So here's a good example of it. So AIOZ is riding the daily 12 EMA, but it's also riding the weekly 12 EMA. And which one you go for is determined by how aggressive or conservative you want to be. More aggressive are using the smaller timeframes, more conservative are using the larger timeframes. And if you go back in the stream, talking to Polar Bear Man about getting back into Bitcoin, you know, that same philosophy applies there. So you don't have to just be aggressive or just be conservative. You can set up the aggressive play. If it works, you're good to go. If you stop out, then you look for the next one. So yeah, oftentimes we'll see these things riding many EMAs. And another example of it is Bitcoin right now. We're riding the hourly 12 EMA and also the weekly 12 EMA. And that was after a good time of riding the daily 12 EMA. So it's just constantly working between all of these. And smaller time frame you're looking at, more aggressive, larger time frame, more conservative, and you can be all of that bundled into one just as long as you're managing your risk. The thing you don't want to do is say, all right, we'll go back to AIOZ for this. You don't want to say, all right, well, I'm going to make a play off the daily 12 EMA here on AIOZ and then not stop out if it's lost and then say, okay, well, you know, we lost the daily 12 EMA. Well, now I'll play off the weekly 12 EMA, and then you're looking to play off here, but you're deep red, 35% red because you're holding that daily 12 EMA position down into it. So you just got to stop out. If you try the more aggressive one and it doesn't work out, stop out and then try the next tier one. So you don't have to try the aggressive ones because there's nothing wrong with saying, I don't want to enter on this thing up here. I'm going to wait for weekly consolidation and try back in the mid 50s or something like that. So that is going to be different from person to person always, you know, based on, you know, your life situation. Like me as a single young dude with no dependents, no kids or anything, I can be aggressive and do things that somebody who's 55 and has a wife and kids and a mortgage and all of this stuff, I can do things that they cannot because they can't risk that. You know, if I lose everything that I have, I'll be okay. No one goes down with me and I'll figure it out and be fine. But, you know, if you've got more overhead, we'll just call it, then, you know, you're probably going to be on the conservative side of things most of the time. Little Riri, what up, Doe? Let's see, Chris, what do I think about Monster relative strength compared to Bitcoin? Not much more beyond what you just said. It remains relatively strong, big time. And that's that. This is another example here of bears needing the downtrend. We lost the daily uptrend here. That was weekly consolidation getting underway. Bears needed the downtrend if it was going to see follow through. You bounce over 50% of this move down, that decreases the odds that bears can do this. And from there, bulls regain the uptrend. So as far as like what's going on under the hood, why is Monster stronger? I don't know. I've got no clue, and I don't really care about that stuff personally. I just know that if we look at MSTR, BTC, this ratio is going up. So that's all I care about with stuff like this. The ratio is going up. We're, I don't even know, I guess you could say riding a daily uptrend, not quite an EMA rider. I guess 2-day 12 EMA is pretty decent, but as long as MSTR over BTC is going up, then MSTR is relatively strong compared to BTC. And that's all I really care about there. Let's see, Crypto OG, when's the next meme pump? I don't know, man. Maybe soon. Maybe soon. Let's look at some ratios. Let's look at some ratios. See, man, I don't know if it's just the Bitfinex ones. Same thing happened last stream. I guess I know what we'll do. We'll do it manual if we must. All right, Pepe. I mean, that's pretty similar to the USD pairing. If Pepe BTC gets to new all-time highs, this is a cup and handle. Double top at all-time highs. Is that a coincidence? No, absolutely not. If bulls can get the weekly high or low set and get to all-time highs on Pepe BTC, then some meme life will come back. Some meme life will come back. Doge BTC is trying to break out here. We need a weekly uptrend on Doge BTC. We had a dinker back here, but beyond that, it's been pretty much all bears since October 2022. So if we can get a weekly uptrend on Doge BTC, see follow through over monthly 12 EMA, then that's the type of thing that will bring meme life back on the map. All right. Tears for Fears. Well coined, Ryan V. I like that. Let's see, Crypto George, the cannabis stocks are miss. I don't know what that means, my friend. Let's see, Crypto OG, what is considered life-changing money? Simply money that will change your life, dude. If like you've got $100,000 net worth, if you make $500,000, I'd say that's life-changing. If you make $100,000, I'd say that's life-changing. These answers are going to be different for everybody. When Devin was on his crazy run back in 2021, when he hit $1 million, I was like, dude, you should pump the brakes. You could chill out from here. That's life-changing money. And he kept his foot on the gas because he wanted to, and then like 8x'd it from there before topping out. So, it's different from each individual. No one can answer that for you. Yeah, step 2 came in with the answer there. Step 2 is Dan X path there. Everybody has its own definition to it. Oh, let's see. Cody and Julia, my bad there. Vanry, V-A-N-R-Y, USDT. Ooh. We got some juice. So Vanry, up in blue skies. Let me see if that is the case everywhere. Nope, it's not the case everywhere. So it's not a blue sky bull. We do have some resistance overhead. And we'll go back to the USDT pairing. And we've just got a daily tightening range. High, low. Maybe it's best on the 12-hour. Yeah. I don't know if it's perfect. We'll just call it a daily tightening range. High, low, lower high, higher low, and anything below 32 28.8 would be a lower high. If this tightening range breaks bull, the show goes on the road. Weekly stair step remains intact. If it breaks bear, weekly consolidation's underway. Be looking down to 4-hour oversold conditions as the next back burner. And that's really that. Not much is changing as long as we're tightening on up here. So definitely holding on well at the highs, and honestly kind of reminded me of like RNDR, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, just sideways at the highs. And really FET is not much different from that either, just sideways at the highs. So bulls will absolutely take sideways at the highs after a massive move. I mean, I'm assuming Vanry is super volatile. Yeah, 379% move from the 1st of March, and to just go sideways is plenty healthy. So not much more information until this range breaks. All right, looking at ARB, and then probably gonna have to wrap it up. I've got a mentor session here in a few minutes. I don't really do much mentoring anymore, but I've got a few people that, actually just 2 people that I'm still doing it with. So ARB, monthly consolidation underway. Few coins actually have monthly consolidation underway, so that's not a great look. But what bulls like to see is the lack of follow through below here. So now it's all about trying to regain a weekly uptrend. And first, it's going to be getting a weekly bounce underway though. So got to break the high of last week to officially say that this is a bear break without follow through. Then the next step is regaining the uptrend. So looking at the daily here, daily 12 EMA resistance, lower high, higher low is now set at 156, and bulls need to break 179 to get that weekly bounce underway. Then we'd look for the weekly lower high compared to 227.83. So still just kind of not a lot going on ARB. We had our nice run with the daily 12 EMA, and then once we lost that, it's just been chopping around sideways. So great to not see follow through here, but burden of proof is on bulls. Let's see if our BTC has any intel for us. There's your intel. Oh, snap. I forgot that we were looking at this right around here. I said, this is great for ARB, that it's holding on so strong while the ratio chart's crapping out. I'd anticipate a higher low compared to here, and it didn't shape up. I'm a liar. So watching daily 12 EMA. If ARB is going to come back on the menu, ARB BTC needs to get over daily 12 EMA, and it's as simple as that. So until that happens, not a ton of interest, or not a ton of reason to be interested in ARB. All right, we got one more for Karam, near USD. Let's see, currently in a long position from yesterday, right before the 4-hour EQ broke bull. So let's see, we'll start zoomed out. So still a weekly stair step here, weekly 12 EMA rider, bigger picture. Not up at all-time highs, but kind of creeping into the picture. And we got our daily downtrend confirmed, no follow through, right into a bounce. So I would still anticipate a daily lower high compared to 851 unless this increasing volume continues here. That's what bulls want to see. And if you're in from before this EQ broke bull, I mean, I'd probably be taking some partial profits as we come up into daily resistance. I mean, it's still a good bit away. And you don't have to take partial profits off into strength. You can walk up stops and stuff like that. We got clear hourly 12 EMA short-term guide. You can say, all right, if hourly 12 EMA is lost, I'm going to lock in a portion of my position. And, you know, you really can be risk-free for sure. Now, depending how much you take off. And in this environment, walking up stops and leaving runners is very powerful. It's runner season, that's for sure. So I don't know exactly what your trading style is. If you're more of a hit it and quit it type dude, then, you know, the time to quit it may be coming soon. 4-hour stair step, hourly 12 EMA being lost, something like that. That being said, if we break the 4-hour stair step, as long as we hold 4-hour 12 EMA, that consolidation's healthy. But no red flags on this chart, and bulls love to see the lack of follow through on the first daily downtrend confirming in, you know, quite some time. We had one back here in January, and then since that, it's been all daily uptrend. Get the daily downtrend, no follow through. That's nice. That is nice. All right. Let's see. Dan says, keep in mind the ETFs don't settle for a day or two, so not sure about their influence during trading hours. I mean, it's all going to be correlated, and if you've got like billions of dollars buying the ETF, it's not going to settle in terms of inflows, but arbitrage traders or whatever will keep them linked up. Like you won't see the ETFs go without Bitcoin. Well, I guess I shouldn't say you won't, because sometimes these ETFs can break and decouple and whatnot. But if you've got a bunch of people like Dan, myself, Devin, all buying a dip on these ETFs, then that will affect the underlying. They kind of go back and forth. It's like a, what comes first, the chicken or the egg type deal. So I wasn't speaking to inflow specifically, but just a higher focus on regular trading hours because there's so much more dollar volume at play there. Thank you, Cody and Julia. I appreciate it. Crypto OG says, for me, life-changing money is anything over 300,000. Yeah, 300,000 be life-changing for me as well, my dude. Let's see. Speaking of that magic number, a pretty sweet story over the weekend in the chart, guys. Mike G, shout out to Mike G. He's doing the Soul Chain meme coins and hit a banger. Hit a banger. Started with 20K and in 5 days ran it up to that. So wild. And that is the Wild West. Like these, I don't even know if they're like meme coins or what, but crazy. Absolutely crazy. What up, Benito? Yo, happy to have you. Let's see. Karam says, I'm always learning from you and the rest of the team. Every stream you guys put out. That is awesome. That's why we do it. Man. Good to hear. Thanks for sharing. OG Itchy dropping the like. Forgot about likes. Yeah, we only got 78. If we can get 100, that would be nice. If you're not subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing. We got some sweet stuff. 10,000 videos on there. So I've been doing it for a long time. Let's see. I can't read your full message here, random channel. Would you take profits in alts now or nearing BTC all-time high? I'd probably be walking up stops on things. I'd be out of partial to have my risk out of the equation, and I'd be walking up stops. All right. That's all I've got. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. It's Monday. We'll check back in soon. Look to see, do we get a tightening range on Bitcoin? My gut says we tighten on up, but here's the thing. That's what my gut says. But we're not going to tighten up unless we lose the 4-hour 12 EMA. So you can have a gut feeling, but you can stay nimble with it and stay open to new information, because we get new information every day. So you don't need to set a bias and then stick to it. You can adjust as we get new information. So my gut's saying we get a lower high compared to all-time highs and continue to tighten. If that's going to happen, we got to lose 4-hour 12 EMA. So hourly, still in a stair step. Bulls staying strong. 15-minute uptrend, 15-minute 12 EMA. Once that's lost, hourly consolidation's underway. Once we lose hourly 12 EMA, 4-hour consolidation, probably getting some follow-through or getting underway. Once we lose 4-hour 12 EMA, that's when we say, all right, maybe we're going to tighten up. All right. Farewell. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.